Okay, so I want to do a very quick video on why I won't be playing Oblivion Remastered anytime soon. Not that I think it's a bad game or anything. I think the actual biggest issue for me as to why I won't be is the price. I do find the price itself isn't that unreasonable, as it's only $50 US, so it's not quite the price of the full game. But for me, as someone who has actually played Oblivion before, I don't think I can actually justify spending that much on it. So I might actually give it a go when it's half price. But they have done some changes to the game, some of which are definitely good, some of which are kind of okay. And then there's a couple of minor issues which are kind of a bit iffy, but it's okay. So I think I'd just like to talk about them a bit. The one thing I will actually mention, just going back to the price, is I don't feel like it's worth it for someone who's played the game before, but if you've never played Oblivion before, this is probably the best way to play it. Like, even with any issues I have with the game, this is definitely the best way to play it. I'm just going vaguely over a couple of articles about changes. Obviously, it has new graphics. I was originally thinking when they said Unreal 5 that it was going to be entirely in Unreal 5, which made me think it's actually probably a good thing, as it means it won't have all the bugs and it will just run like shit. And you can get around running like shit by throwing more horsepower at it. It's fine, all along the settings. It turns out it's going to be the framework of the old engine with the graphics done by Unreal. So it's going to have some of the bugs, probably not all of them, and it's going to run like shit. So best of both worlds, basically. The biggest bug with the game, which probably won't be in it, is used to when you used over 2 gigabytes of memory, the game would crash. That probably isn't in a consumer game significantly bigger and will use way more memory than that. They probably adjusted that, hopefully. Yeah, so going into it, obviously they've got new graphics. There is a bit of a piss filter over things, so that's okay. This one's a bit iffy for me. What I've done, essentially in the original game, you could choose to be a male or female, and then what Elder Scrolls games traditionally have had is, if it's just, I think it's more modern. I don't think Daggerfall actually had it. Morrowind did and Oblivion did. Where essentially a male and female had slightly different stats. Usually it would be like one attribute would be 10 points higher for one and 10 points higher for the other. And so they've gotten rid of that, so they've decided to get rid of male and female. They've added in body type 1 and 2, which is stupid, what's the point? There's going to be parts in the game which will refer to you as a male or female. And there's certain quests that will change based on if you're a male and female. So the whole point, the whole idea of having body type 1 2 doesn't work for this game. Not that it actually works in any game. And also, why can't we see the nipples on body type 2? And why do they wear bras? Like, what's the point if they're not females? It's a good question. But yes, we got rid of that. It's a bit of a silly thing. The UI has changed. I do remember having quite a few issues with the actual menus and you like finding all the item menus and stuff, and when I was recently replaying Oblivion. So that's probably a good thing, having them change all that. I have rearranged the HUD as well, which I'm probably not as okay with, as I think the old one's perfectly fine. Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But it's probably more to get people more used to how it is in Skyrim. Leveling up has been changed, probably for the best, because the Oblivion effectively uses Morrowind's level up system, which I personally don't have an issue with, but it's made worse. Not to get into any details about it, as they'll take too long. They basically just... So now you'll get a bunch of attribute points you can assign to 3 different attributes on each level up, which is very similar to Daggerfall's, actually, I believe. Yeah. So I think that will actually be net positive. They do claim that this will be fixing some of the balance issues, but I don't think it is, which is another one of the things I'm like, I kind of wish they had fixed this to make it like more justifiable for me. There's one issue original Oblivion has, and I think this will, is it's level scaled, but in a way that's very, very unbalanced. So if you level up via a non-combat skill, you'll be significantly behind, ignoring attributes and stuff. Skyrim's nowhere near as bad, and even Morrowind is nowhere near as bad. Like sometimes in Skyrim, I think if you just leveled up entirely via like blacksmithing or something, you might have some issues. But like Oblivion used to be, at least the old version, I'm assuming probably this version, like any skills, non-combat skills was basically like you kind of screwed you over. Added sprinting in, which I don't really see the point of, but I guess it makes it more similar to Skyrim. I've done a bunch of new voice lines, which is usually not like, none of the important quest stuff's been redone, it's more like the generic lines you'll get from like NPCs of different races has changed, so there's more variety. One upside here is I believe Linda Carter, who was the original Wonder Woman, has done voice lines for female Nords and Orcs, I believe. There are some other issues, so weird things I've noticed. Yeah, so this is the level up screen, so I definitely think it's an improvement. But they've changed how beast races look. Like Agonians and Khajiits. I'm not going to complain about people then making them get like characters ugly or anything in this, but it isn't about making them ugly, they just don't look right. Because this is runs in circles, right? She's on the Shivering Isles, and then I found a picture of runs in circles from original game. And she's lost all her colour. Lost all her colour. She doesn't have the fucking bands around her thingies. They also... But then, like, she has these huge ridges on her, which she doesn't. Like, they've basically gone for almost more of a dinosaur look than a Disney look, I saw someone say, and I think that's kind of true. And even the Khajiits look a bit weird. They look almost too much like they've shoved like a lion's head on a human body. And they just don't look right. They basically decided not to put that much effort into the character creation. So they basically probably have default Unreal Engine characters. They can easily modify like the elves and stuff from the human bodies. And then they just threw some stuff together for Argonians and Khajiits from the looks of it. It's not good in my opinion, because it's like they should look like they're supposed to look like. We know how they look like, make them look like they're supposed to look like. The last thing is, we're going back to talk about the piss filter. They basically put a gigantic piss filter all over the game. So here is this picture image comparison isn't ideal because the image from the old game is at night, so I don't think it's a good comparison. But even then, so you can imagine like a slightly blue filter over the night scene, right? So you could extrapolate that, making everything lighter and whiter, because the ruins in the old game are basically white. And then the ruins in this game are brown. Everything's brown. You have blue water, brown water. Like even the docks. Like the wood definitely looks better. Like everything does actually look better 100%. Like rocks look amazing. The docks, right? The old docks has moss on it. This one doesn't. They're both are barnacles though. The barnacles are there, but this has no moss on it. It's just wood. Like they've basically taken all the green out of the game and replaced it with brown. The trees don't look too bad, but just everything, they just look almost too faded. Everything does, like in general, like just looks so much better. There's just like a weird brown filter, which apparently isn't the same in the dungeons. Yeah, but here's another example of people, right? They've added so many details to Uriel, right? He still looks like a human. Still vaguely, his haircut's completely different, though. But yeah, so that's basically it. So conclusion is like, the reasons I don't want to play it anytime soon isn't actually that bad. I probably will play it when it's like half off at least. and I do still think it's a good entry point to people who've never played the game before. But there's just some stuff as well. Like some improvements are good, some are just a bit iffy, and there's all for piss everywhere. Don't know why. But hey, thank you for coming everyone, and I'll see you guys all next time.